What's up, everybody? Welcome back into a Wednesday night AMA. We got a good one talking about should you be pushing your chips in as a contender, and if so, how to do it. How to do it strategically. But first, we got business to take care of. Adam, hit that intro.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the tear down king. Mike McNutted, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know Adam put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Another AMA. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
Ooh, baby. Oh, it gets my juices flowing, man. We're back. This might be a show first too, Adam, because literally I was doing the SEO, right? Putting that stuff in, getting the title up, getting everything in, making sure that we turn monetization on, and then you go to the stream, just make sure everything looks good. Be the first time ever I'm sitting in there, you got to like your own video, a little behind the scenes, right? Like, you got to like your own damn video that you create, right? Get that
Absolutely.
extra thumbs up in there. Juice the numbers. I see a super chat come in. We ain't even live. This might be the first time we've ever started with a damn super chat.
Bang!
Nuts.
Bang! Got a super chat, Mike. Let's just go ahead and just straight into it.
Simon.
Simon.
Let's go, Simon.
And you want to know why? It's because Simon says. Simon says.
Said, thank you, Simon.
Simon says 10-team Superflex. Start 10. Half PPR. We got a no tight end premium. He's in 6th place. He gave Burrow, Chase, Kirk for Hurts. Aiyuk, late 24 first. He has Allen and Hurts. He's got Pittman, DeVonta, Aiyuk, Collins, McLaurin. Also has Kyron, Ford, Jalen Warren, Devin Singletary, Schultz. Period. Question is good.
Money. And here's the reason why. Eric and I, you guys get to hear it tomorrow, America's Game, a little promo here, kind of talked about a little bit of contender stuff. It's just weird how these shows line up sometimes, but we talked about a little bit of contender stuff. And we were looking at Warp for a lot of leagues. And, CeeDee Lamb has been awesome. Keenan Allen's been awesome. I forget who the number 2 is. Look at that Woodford reserve. Those guys have been awesome, and they're up there with the elite quarterbacks. But the difference is, like, the fall off from wide receivers in most leagues, like the next group of wide receivers, the Mike Evans of the world, like these kind of guys. Calvin Ridley over the last 4 weeks has been very good. Like,
right.
The graph doesn't fall as hard. Adam, where the graph falls is after that, like QB3. It's just, it is a steep. It is like the old Price is Right, which we talked about there too. But you remember the yodeler? Yodelator, yodel. Yep. And then just straight down. Straight down. So, yes, fantastic move. I know it sounds like a lot. Burrow, Chase, right? And you're only getting back Aiyuk, but you just got yourself a warp monster and the MVP in Jalen Hurts. Eagles, what's up? Look at this. Look at that. Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Baby.
Let's
go. Yeah, I take the warp monster. You get a pretty good wide receiver in Aiyuk that's going to keep you in the warp conversation. And actually, I'm pretty sure Brandon Ayuk's warp has been better than Jamar Chase's. And Jamar Chase has to deal with, whatever the hell a Jake Browning is for the foreseeable future of this fantasy season. So, love it. Kirk is fine. He's fine. But the late first, good. 10-team. This class is deep. It's fantastic. I'll take the late first just as a little cherry on top.
Yeah,
Perfect
I think.
Move.
Yeah, I think, the way I look at this is Burrow is not enough injured for Hurts, period, right? So going from Chase to Aiyuk definitely hurts. I'm not going to act like it's, a 1-for-1, but, like, honestly, like that pivot, it might feel steep, but where you're winning and what you're saving, I think that already, like 2 for 2, I'd probably make that move if I think I can win. Because as much as it's going to hurt to lose that Burrow Chase stack down the road, Hurts gives you a real chance to stay right in the mix and win this thing. You got Allen and Hurts. You have the two monsters of the quarterback position. And then the first for Kirk, honestly, like I like Christian Kirk quite a bit, man. But in 10-team, I'm fine with that as, that late first. It's about what Kirk's worth. I'm good. I'm totally good taking this other side here. I think your team is built to win, so go win it.
Go win it. And it's a lineup league, right? Variance. You get in as the 5th seed, the 4th seed. You go on a run. Shit happens all the time. Best ball league, if you're sitting in the 6th seed, now is a little bit late to be pushing your chips in, right? Your team probably wasn't that good. That's why you're in 6th place, right? But it is what it is. Lineup, by all means. Go get that title.
Send it.
Try.
Send it. Yeah, I like this one. I think, too, Mike, I don't even think this team really needs a ton of variance, frankly. It's really good.
Yep.
The receivers obviously now are not – you don't have, the hammer receiver that you once did in Chase, but I don't know that Chase really for the rest of the year is a hammer receiver, honestly. So if you're going to make a move to push it in, I'm comfortable with this. I think your running backs still have upside. Kyron's been awesome. Singletary's been awesome. Warren has upside. Ford's just okay. So this team could win, but having two quarterbacks and a start 10 like those two, you definitely have a chance to win, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, actually, hold on real quick. Ethan, we'll get right back to you. T-Rock, listen, I can't hurt that of Mike Evans. All right, I've been rocking this one for long enough. And if I do, I blame you now, okay? By the way, last thing I will say. The eggplant, which is saved for questions. There's not a fucking question here. So get off my screen, all right? He said, "Can you take the jersey off, please?" Technically, it's a question, but it's more of a demand. It doesn't count.
Yeah, that was a nice demand.
Yeah. All right. Ethan says, Mike, 12-team Superflex. 2 Superflexes off the bat. Mike, you got to feel pretty good right now about tonight. Full PPR.
We're starting off on the good foot. Right?
Yeah. No 1 QB right now.
Bullshit. Yeah. No 8-team start 4, 1 QB. Devi depleted. None of this bullshit. Okay.
I love it, man. 4-point passing touchdown. Trade Lamar and a 24 projected 112. Man, project 112 in a lineup league's tough. And a 26 first, not mine, for the 101, 106, and Higgins. I have Hurts, Lamar, Deshaun Watson, Hollywood, Javonte, LaPorta, Warren, Reed, 102, 103.
Trade 26 is just, I don't want to give those up if I got them. But I'm doing this.
Are you? Okay.
I'm doing this.
Okay.
I'm trading Lamar away. All right. I'm trading him away. I'm gonna go get Caleb or Drake or Marv. The 106. We just got done. You guys can listen to Canton Bound tomorrow, talking about Dane Brugler's mock and just hypothetically what would happen if there is 4 quarterbacks and the 4th one just happened to be McCarthy, who went at 22 to Seattle. That's the guy you're gonna get in Superflex. Just the 107, 108. If some of this stuff holds up, 109. And it's a first-round NFL quarterback. The 106 is going to be a hell of a fucking pick. And then T. Higgins. We also saw in that mock that they took a T. Higgins replacement, meaning T. Higgins is signing a big deal somewhere else in free agency, which should get you excited. Maybe he's a little bit more motivated, and those hammies feel better, when he's got a shit ton of millions in the bank. I know mine would. You get all that cryotherapy shit.
Start feeling young again.
Yeah, you get to have a personal chef and, athletic trainers come over your house every day. And
what up,
Dr.
B?
Feeling real nice. So
yeah,
I think I'd do that. I think I'd send away Lamar. It's tough, but Caleb, Lamar, the last 4 weeks, warp-wise, they're winning and stuff, but, fantasy, he's not really been a difference maker here lately, which just kind of sucks.
Yeah. I mean, he's still in the he's not the elite asset that's warp eliteness of Allen and Hurts, to your point, right? He's not.
Yes.
He's been very relevant still, but he's not carried the upside weekly that we are wanting. He's been above average weekly. That's what he's been. That's honestly it's crazy to think from Lamar, who used to have weekly upside of just winning you a league, winning you a week every week. He's done that, I think, once this year. He's just a little above average every week. That's really kind of what he's been. So I would say this about this trade. The one you already have 102 and 103. So like that's the only reason that I have any pause is like, do you think making this trade, like, are you worried about not getting Marv? That's my only question, because it's not that that the values aren't like reasonable here. My two concerns are, one, Lamar and that 101, they're going to be probably damn near the same all offseason type thing. Like, you're going to be looking at right around the same value. And if you're getting already Drake May and Marvin Harrison Jr., like, I'm okay missing out on Caleb Williams to keep Lamar. The one thing I will just mention, because I would rather have Higgins than a 26 first, the 106 to the 112, don't get it wrong. I want the 106, but like, we also talked about how this class is so deep, and the 112's going to be a nice fucking receiver too, probably. So yep. I think in a vacuum, if you're not trying to contend this season, so if you're not trying to win this year, because what we haven't talked about is if you're trying to win this year, like, now you go from Hurts and Lamar to Hurts and nobody at quarterback. So yeah, as long as you're trying not to contend, I'm fine with it. I don't think it's a like runaway home run deal. I think it's a good deal. I think I would be willing to do it, but I'm just not as panicked to move off of guys like Lamar or, you know, Herbert, even when it's the 101, because those guys are still tough to come by. As much as Lamar hasn't been a difference maker, I still believe in him as a top 8 quarterback. And now this team next year will be dope, even with either way. Like, if you told me it was Hurts, Lamar, and May, or Hurts, Caleb, and May, like, it's not really changing a whole lot for me. You know what I mean? So I still want the 101 side, but I don't think it's like a home run deal. Is I guess the way I would say it.
The more you talk about it, actually, the more it became a home run deal for me.
Oh, okay.
It really did. If I think about a Lamar and the 101, Adam, there's going to be a point where the 101's worth more than Lamar.
It could be. But then what this is we had the same conversation with Herbert, and I think this is kind of where we differ. It's if that value ends up becoming over that, like, it's synthetic for me, because what are you going to trade for now? Like, you're not going to be able to go get likely up from that quarterback to Allen or Hurts straight up. You'd have to add to it. For me, then now you're betting on, like, is Caleb Williams really going to be good and hold him? So for me, that's where I'd rather take the sure thing at quarterback than the 101.
Okay. Definitely 106 over 112. That part's easy, and the T. Higgins over the 26 first. So, like, both of those are real easy, and the first one just becomes like it's more easy, if not favoring the 101 a little bit for me. So, yeah, this is slam dunk for me as long as I'm not competing. Right? I'm not competing. I'm not just.
Well, if you're competing, I'm not doing this at all.
Yeah, there's no reason.
I think it's a. It's solid deal. It's solid deal. That 26 first, not mine, is the main reason. Like, I've seen, somebody trading away their 26 first. That pick has upside that T. Higgins does not carry. I can tell you that for sure.
Love it.
All right. So we got hold on, Tunchi. Great fucking comment. The championship tush push, man. That's what we're trying to go get here, you know? And that's why also, like, the time of year, Ethan, like, someone's getting Lamar. That's a nice purchase right now, man.
Yeah.
You know, even for 101, like, if you needed a quarterback, holy shit, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. I want to know what everyone thinks. 12-team Superflex, half PPR, start 10. Traded Jalen Hyatt for a late 25 second. I'm in.
Yeah, we don't really know it's late either.
Yeah. I mean, it's from a good team. It's from a good dynasty team in your league, second, and that could be mid. I'm re-rolling. I guess here's what I'll answer, Trip. I'm re-rolling Jalen Hyatt everywhere I could if I can get a second, for sure.
Yeah. I like what I saw from him on Sunday. But,
yeah.
You know, he's still not a wide receiver difference maker, and I don't think he's ever going to get to that level. So, yeah, just re-roll him. Kick can down the road.
Scribbles, here's what I'll tell you, Scribbles, is that I don't really know. I don't know that people are really
value bump is coming from.
And if Keep Trade Cut's telling you, I feel like it's artificial.
Scribbles, did you stumble on a Steelers fan page, like a Steelers fan forum?
Is anyone? I've not gotten any interest in Kenny Pickett in the leagues I have him in, like zero.
A Matt Canada hate page. Is that where you got this information from? I don't know. I don't see it.
Nada.
Yeah, he got a little value bump on Keep Trade Cut, Adam. He went up like 4 points out of, they go to 10,000. So
better than nothing.
Right. He went from QB 26 to QB 25. Woo! Shit. Hold me up. Some bitches, he can't hold him back. You can only keep Kenny Pickett down for so long.
Trip Crown says, fun fact, Jerry Rice tore his ACL in 97 game 1 and returned at the end of the season. It is a fun fact.
I guess it is. Thanks, Trip Crown.
Appreciate that, man. We get AMA. It wasn't a question, right? You can ask us anything, but if you guys got good,
little fun fact,
actual good fun facts, not this bullshit. All right, we'll take them. Temp check on Piggins. Price you pay.
Second.
No, I'm not paying a first anymore. Those days are gone for sure.
Long time. I tried to help you, buddy. I tried.
Listen, the offense. I think realistically, the offense totally changed tune with running the football. I mean, Deontay went to shit too. Like, let's just call it what it is. I mean, you take Deontay's touchdown away from that game, Mike. The last 4 weeks, I think, are garbage. Like, they're not throwing the ball that much. They are running. Both Harris and Warren are getting double-digit mid, 15 type carries a game. Second, yeah, I'd pay a second. To be honest with you, though, Scribbles, I would be okay. I would be okay trying to see if I could use my second to just go something else, because, especially in a lineup league, best ball, I'd probably still send a second for Pickens. Just could give you a week. But Mike, in lineup, I'm definitely not doing that. I don't think. I just don't want to buy Pickens right now in lineup.
I will not pay anything 205 or above for George Pickens.
That's also fair. If you have a projected early one, I can see just because you can buy something better. You can buy something better, right?
There's a chance I'm going to get a first-round rookie wide receiver. A first-round NFL first-round rookie wide receiver with that pick.
Yeah, but if I'm contending, well, I'm not trying to buy Pickens if I'm contending. But the point is, if you're contending, I'd rather buy something that can help me win now. But I would happily hold if I had to. Would you give up Will Levis for a mid-second Superflex, or would you just hold? Peter, Mike, what do you think?
I'd hold. We're probably getting 4 quarterbacks. It kind of feels like that. Like we're headed towards this now. I don't know who they're going to be. But let's say Will Levis would be QB5 of this class. Like a mid-second for the QB5. I don't give a fuck if it's, pick who do I hate in this class, quarterback. I don't really have any hates. Man, I'm trying to think. Shit. It's got to be some turd out there that I'm overlooking.
Quarterback?
Yeah.
Like first-round potential?
Yeah, in the ballpark, I guess.
I mean, I don't think you do. The 4 that come to mind for me, I don't think you hate Penix. I don't think you hate McCarthy. I don't think you hate I know you don't hate Daniels.
Let's say hypothetically there was a Brock Purdy who ended up being QB5. Let's go. Brock Purdy's brother, Chuba, gets damn near first-round draft capital. He gets, second pick of the second round. Okay, not quite first round.
All right.
Even me as a dynasty manager, because of the quarterback position and quarterbacks going that, I'd kill to be able to grab that kind of guy with a mid-second round pick. So I'm not going to just dump Will Levis after a few games for that. Pass.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, I would say typically in Superflex a mid-second. If this was an early second that you think you can flip for more or something, fine. But or if you're just literally you have too much depth at quarterback and you don't think in the quarterback horde of Will Levis is actually going to work, I'd be more apt to do it for an early second, I think, but I don't really see the reasoning why, because you're going to end up just trying to draft a receiver probably or a running back in this range. Unless you just really can get up. The only way I'm doing this is if you can totally get off a quarterback and you don't want a quarterback horde, which we don't do that here, so it's just not for me.
There we go. Trip Crown says Rocco Becht is going in the first.
Boom. There you go. Becht.
I don't know if he's just throwing that out as an example or he's just trying to chive me.
I think he's trying to do both.
Well, Rocco Becht is probably a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. How about that?
Wow.
punch and counterpunch, son.
12-team Superflex, tight end premium, start 10. Traded Chase and Christian Watson for Garrett Wilson, JT, right after the Burrow injury. Yo, that's tough. First place in serious contender. Now I have Hurts, Dak, Wilson, A.J. Brown, Lamb, Debo, JT, Eckler, Connor. Thought on the trade plus the roster. I mean,
the JT thing sucks.
The JT thing was what really hurt, you know.
JT thing just kicked you right in the teeth. And the fact that Garrett Wilson's playing with Tim Boyle, which is actually a downgrade from what Jamar Chase is playing with Jake Browning. So, unfortunately, lost on both sides. And Christian Watson just had a blow-up.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
I'd be curious to see, like, what Christian Watson continues to be for the rest of the year. Like, Garrett Wilson's targets have been ridiculous, but his quarterback play is freaking garbage, man. Like, it's amazing that there is nowhere to turn for him to not just have dog shit QB play. It's just killing him. And
he's going to be a tough one. He's going to be a tough one for him to start, right? Like,
yeah.
Now. He's got A.J. Brown and Lamb. Like, you're doing pretty fucking well.
So it's a start 10. So you're going to start 10. You could start 5 receivers.
Yeah.
So you're probably still going to start them. So you're going to go A.J. Brown, Lamb, Debo. I'd still probably start Garrett Wilson. The problem becomes, though, like, I understand the move you made, right? But now, man, you got Eckler and Connor, and I don't know what you have for depth of running back. The good news is hopefully JT will be back. The hope is you missed 2 weeks, and he's back for you in the first week of the playoffs. But, man, yeah, that one does tough.
Hopefully you got some draft picks laying around, and you can throw something at, like, a Zach Moss. See if you can
there you go.
Up.
Yeah, that's what I would be doing, too. If there's as long as the deadline hasn't passed for you in this league, sniff around on some of these, you know, the turdy-type running backs that people don't value, right?
We talked about it. Eric and I did on America's Game too. So check that out tomorrow. I'll give you some ideas of some of these cheap shit that you can kind of throw at the wall for the fantasy playoffs here, and you might get lucky. Some pretty good ideas on there too, but you could use them with this JT injury for sure. Now, if JT comes back for the fantasy playoffs and is a fucking monster, like, you're not going to really care that you traded away Chase and Christian Watson. You'll be like, all right, got it, nailed it. You just got to stem the tide a little bit, right? Hold the fort. Hold the line.
Hold! Best ball. Who are we riding with this season but getting off the most in the offseason before the NFL draft? Kyron Williams, Rashad White, or Pacheco? Great stuff, guys. Appreciate it, Matt. Mike?
All the above. But if you want me to pick just one, if I were to pick just one, probably Kyron.
Okay. Why him?
The situation in LA is a little bit unsettled. We really don't know what it's going to look like next year. Like, who's the quarterback? Is Stafford coming back again? McVay almost retired this year, walked away from the game, misses out on the playoffs. Stafford leaves. Does he really come back again? We don't really know. And the roster, too, it's getting older. You're kind of seeing this late season. They just don't look as good as they did early in the season. They're not, like, propped up by these awesome offensive performances. Now, Kyron had a great one, right? Absolute smash week, but just a little bit more unsettled with how that. I think he's still young enough where I don't want to project, like, dynasty value long term for most running backs. That's kind of why I just said all the above. Like, I try to get off all of them. But Rashad White, I don't know. There's a situation too. Like, he's still got the job next year. Maybe they do take the Jaden Daniels pick, like in Dane Brugler's mock, and all of a sudden this kind of an exciting offense again. And Pacheco, I don't know. It just feels like Kansas City loves him, and he ain't ever going anywhere, right? Like, he'll be back again, just stomping in the ground and doing whatever the fuck Isaiah Pacheco does. So if I had to pick one, it'd be Kyron, just because the situation's a little bit more unsettled. And I don't feel like he's a guy that just, like, plug and play into some other offense or some other team. Like, if there's some team were to trade for him or, you know, move on from him, like, he's, I don't know, that kind of dude. I feel like he's perfect because McVay uses him in the way that he should be, and then, you know, just rides his ass into the dirt. Gives him all the work, and that's where his fantasy value is from. I don't think it's like a talent thing. So
sure. Well, I think actually to that point, though, Mike, is where, like, for me, like, I agree with you on Pacheco. I think for me the one I would probably want to get off of is Rashad White, because I do think, one, he carries a lot of value. I think I think all these guys are probably going to be in the same value range. And what the one thing I will say, if you told me right now that if I had the opportunity to hold upside, it's that Kyren just comes back and is in the Sean McVay offense. We have seen in the Sean McVay offense, like, he's going to feature a back, and that person has immense upside. More upside than anybody on this. It's that role. Like, forget the names. The role of the running back for the Los Angeles Rams, if McVay is back, is the one that I want here. So I'd probably want to keep him. I think I could move off of Rachaad White, arguably for the most. He's had a very good season. He's young. He's kind of liked by the community. I think I could probably move him for the most value. So I think that's the way I would go. But to the point you made, I mean, all these guys could go in the offseason for the right price, right? Like, these are all guys that I'd be completely comfortable moving off of in the offseason if the right offer came around. Like, I'm not telling you to hold any one of these running backs into the offseason.
Especially if I'm, you've done this before. I've done this before. You got to kind of be a little strategic because everybody kind of knows it's coming, right? But I read these dudes into a fantasy championship in a best ball league, and then I let the dust settle a little bit. And then I go, all right, fuck y'all. My entire team's for sale. Come buy everybody. We're hitting the reset. I'm playing for free for the next 7-8 years anyways. So,
yeah.
Second, Kyren Jers. Rachaad White, you got a second? I'll take one. 26. Sounds good. Bring it over. Right? Pacheco, man, Mike's out here just dealing.
Yeah.
Fuck you. These guys are gone.
I will say, too, if you want to move these guys, one thing to keep in mind, whether you win or you lose, is irrelevant really to this. Moving off of guys that had good seasons, like selling off of the hype of the season, is best to do right away in the offseason, those winter months, right? Yes. Before the hype starts coming around, all the potential, the Rams are interested in these running backs. Rachaad White had a good season, but he really wasn't that good between the tackles. They're looking at getting another running back in there. Like, all those type of things can end up totally playing with the market of any one of these players. So I'm selling in that first couple months. Like Mike says, let the dust settle, but try to get off of them before March hits, when the Combine, the Senior Bowl are really around the corner.
It is kind of the same situation, right? There's a parallel to injured fantasy stars. What you were getting for Joe Burrow last week, maybe not what you're getting for Joe Burrow this week, right? And as we keep getting along in the fantasy, like, what you're going to get for Joe Burrow is going to become even more or less. Like, people go, oh, fuck, he really ain't playing. He ain't doing anything. Like, you forget about him. But when they first get hurt and you find out they're out for the year, he's still elite. Like, I still want him. Like, he's still worth, his yesterday's price. As you get farther and farther away, that becomes less and less and less. Same thing for these kind of players, right? Like, as soon as the fantasy season's over, like, you're going to feel like everybody knows that you're selling, you're selling guys that aren't, during the offseason aren't going to be the sexiest, but people still just saw what they did a few weeks ago and go, oh, yeah, fuck, I just project this right into next year. They're going to do the same thing in 24. Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you, 2 seconds.
To that point, too, Mike, you know what happens when the NFL season's over and the fantasy playoffs are over and the NFL playoffs are happening? Pacheco could be one of the guys that ends up being this sell for me, even though it's not coming off. He has 2-3 really good fantasy weeks, right?
Yeah.
You only get to see so many guys in the playoffs. He has 2 great weeks. All right, man. Come get him. Come get him.
I'm not going to name names, but I did hear a podcast one time talking about how this running back was a buy because he was a top 5 running back in the playoffs. Like a top 5 running back in the playoffs, in the divisional round, Adam.
Steve Carell.
I was just doing some math in my head, and I was like, that's not really a high fucking bar.
Well, I was going to say, Steve Carell here, he's going to make for me, Mike, this right here, the name with the Carell, with the O, and with this avatar, like, he's already, he's in the mix for me. That is, I don't know, I think 40-Year-Old Virgin is a very, very underrated movie and kind of doesn't get enough love. 4D or sketchy? I'll tell you what's sketchy is caring about a RB5 finish in the regular NFL playoffs. Now, 4D or sketchy, I think that's a trick question because they're both, like, 4D is kind of sketchy at times, right? Like, Mike and I preach a little bit of sketchy, So 10-team, 1 quarterback, 2 tight end, rebuild, lotto for bottom 4. Currently own all 4. One other team can mathematically get in. He's taking a 0 in the tight end 2 spot. Traded him Tanner Hudson for a 4th. Is that strategy? Damn.
Is Tanner Hudson even worth a 4th?
I'll be honest with you. The strategy is just trading Tanner Hudson for a 4th. Like
40 right there.
Sketchy as far as the sketchiness of like, hey, but I think you're gonna use him. Like, can I tell you the truth? If Tanner Hudson scores a 0 in that tight end 2 spot, I wouldn't be shocked either.
Yeah.
It's there's nothing sketchy about this. Go ahead, man. See if you can get a body in there. I have no problem with it, but I'll just say this. Unless Tanner Hudson, finds his way in the end zone, and this has probably ended up being a lot of overthinking. But I like what you did. I like what the idea is, frankly.
Yeah.
Is that fair, Mike?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. I love what he did.
I love what you did, too. I overthink things all the time. But this, I don't know, this is quite demonic. You know what? I'll give it to you. It's demonic. It's to go this deep. Like, this is an America's Game waiver wire type deep dive. You know what I mean? Like, not many people out here doing this type of level of insanity out there. I love what you're doing. Pickett is starting at quarterback in the NFL. Sell high. Okay.
There you go.
It's fair. People are out here needing them.
Starting at quarterback.
Matt says, love the content, guys. Appreciate you, Matt. Absolutely. Appreciate you being here. Okay, let's see what we got here. Bragg, I acquired the Dynasty 2024 101 for 224 seconds. 220.
The fuck?
Eric, listen. Aiden O'Connell is not that dude, all right? Don't go around doing this. Where's Eric at, man? This had to be Eric, no?
You think Eric bought Aiden O'Connell for 2 seconds?
Eric's the only person I know with that type of AOC love, Mike. There's nobody else that even comes close. This is just
an early first potential for AOC, a couple seconds, couple thirds.
Could you imagine? How Mike? We've seen some like people go get irate, just lose their mind in a chat before.
Yeah,
I've got a home league it's up there, buddy. You would hate commissioning this league. Let me just tell you. Okay, there is a lot of just craziness anytime a trade goes down, especially when it's mine. But this is, I can't imagine a league where this is not causing just complete pandemonium in the chat. Like, what the fuck?
I would assume, I'm just going to take a stab, like this trade was made weeks ago.
Before it was 101?
And now it's turned in, because if this, like, you're looking at it and this dude's in dead last place and this is all he took, I'd be... Yeah, I don't chirp a lot on trades.
Oh, I'm chirping. I am chirping. I'm going to be loud as fucking you can be, buddy. Fuck y'all.
But, again, bad trades are allowed. Collusion is not. So
yeah, unless I can really sniff out and have a good case to make for collusion, not just I feel it. Like I gotta have I gotta be like Inspector Gadget. I gotta find the trail.
I would just say though, you would hate me at the end, like because I'd be so disgusted with the trade. I'd make the other person feel so bad about it that the next time you came to trade with them, they'd be like, "Fuck you! I don't care what you sent me."
Did you see what just happened to me?
Mike made fun of me so bad.
Mike just de-pants me in front of everybody.
I'll never trade with you again.
All right, Mike. What running back are you willing to pay a first for? We have too many shitheads out there in leagues wanting way too much for their running backs out there.
It's a pretty small list.
Okay, Mike. You got a late first. You're going to the buyer's market. What you buying?
Shit. Well, where I want to start buying, people don't want to sell. So we're kind of incompatible. But
let's just go ahead. Let's play the game.
Travis Etienne.
Okay.
DeAndre Swift.
I think Swift's one that can get done for a first. I do.
Josh Jacobs.
Okay.
End of list.
You go higher. But you mean like I got.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah! Would I trade a first for Bijan? Yeah. CMC? Yeah.
It just, I don't know, Mike. The way I was listening, the way it was read, like Travis Etienne, DeAndre Swift, Josh Jacobs, end of list. It felt like holy shit. Like wait, what? All right, I got you.
I don't think I anymore. Maybe you could make a case for like an Austin Eckler, but last week just kind of wasn't that good. Like you just kind of feel bad about it.
Mike, I don't think Eckler is worth the first anymore, just because he's not. He's clearly gimpy still from this high ankle. He's 28.
Yeah,
I could see him kind of really cliffing. Yeah, he's gonna be 29 next season. Like I could see it kind of being like, this is the last. Like this is the last. We've seen the great Austin Eckler days, and we could be past it. There was what clip was that? Was it like a week or two ago? It looked like he was running in mud. He got totally tracked down on the sideline. Did you see that one?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Looked
horrible. That was rough.
I could put Kenneth Walker on that list, but it's just like this groin thing. Like
I don't think I want to do it for him either.
Playoffs. Like I don't really want to be paying a first for a guy that might not even play for me.
And that's
for Jonathan Taylor.
That's the problem with Taylor too. Is like, as much as I think his talent's great and next year I'm good, if I'm sending a first for a running back, it's for a running back that can play today and I don't have to worry about can be hurt in the playoffs.
I could put Breece Hall in there too, but like the offense is so damn bad. Saquon's the same story.
Here's the list: Bijan, McCaffrey, Gibbs, Breece Hall, ETN. What about a chain, Mike? Same thing?
Nah, the injury thing, like.
That's why same thing as like JT and same thing as Kenneth Walker, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So, DeAndre Swift.
Yes.
Let me ask you this: what about Kyren Williams?
No.
Okay. What about do you feel better about Swift next year than Kyren? Is that the reason?
That is part of it. There's a little safety net in there for dynasty value, and this offense is just so much better, right? Like, I don't really have as many concerns about, the Eagles getting shut out, right? They played a bad half, and then they exploded against the Bills in the second half. I know Kyren just came off a boom week, and we all feel rosy about it. But, like, when they play a really good defense, there's a possibility Matt Stafford and that offense is so shitty, Kyren doesn't even get scoring opportunities, and it's 15 carries for 30 yards and 4 catches for 7 yards, right? And you're like, fuck. I paid first for this shitter. Like, you just don't have the touchdown upside.
Yeah, even Swift has a little bit of cap touchdown upside because of the tush push. Not saying his is as low as Kyren's, but
then he makes up for it with longer term.
I agree, but the reason I ask about, I think Kyren is where you have to have the discussion with yourself on this. I think, frankly, buying running backs for a first is, you want to probably say to yourself, I have long-term longevity. Like, I have more that I have next year here. But I kind of view it as, man, you're kind of throwing this pick away in an effort to plug in a running back to win a title. Like, you're probably, for any of these running backs, like, they're on borrowed time. All of them are. That aren't young as hell, like Bijan and, Breece and maybe ETN to an extent, Gibbs, right? Like, situation could change for Jacobs, situation could change for Swift. I think if you're going to do it, like, I could make the case for Kyren, but that you're anything past there, like past Jacobs, to your point. Like, even Jacobs, for me, I'm not necessarily sold on it. Jacobs has been a dicey enough this year, and he's got some games where it's not that great. Like, I think him and Kyren, you're hoping for a really good push in the fantasy playoffs, and then you are going to look back and say, did I win the title or not? Because I want that first back if I didn't win the title, right? Yeah. Like, that's the reality for me.
Swift has kind of shown, too, like, he's got a floor of about 10 fantasy points in PPR leagues. Like, that's kind of like his bad games is still double digits, which you're like, fuck yeah, I'm good with that. Right? Even without that touchdown upside, like you said, like, because he gets tush pushed, right? He gets sniped by Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Kyren, on the other hand, like, he feels like he has a floor of like 3.
Really?
4. Yeah.
Even versus Philly, Mike, which was definitely his toughest matchup. He had, 5. He had like 8 or 9. I think his floor is pretty comparable to Swift's. 1 for 1, I'd rather have Swift, but
so
I don't.
He had 8.5 against Cincy and 7.7 against Philly.
Right, and those, Cincy's going back to September, and let's see, Philly was what? That's October. But the point is, I think for me, like, those are similar floors to Swift, but the thing that Kyren has now, like this offense, to your point with the offense in general, has not been humming. I think they kind of have to go through Kyren. Like it's been kind of gross, man, frankly.
Who do the Rams have, too? Like, what's their
playoffs
fantasy? Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a peek. Rams schedule.
Fuck. Browns, Ravens. Next 2 games. Yeah.
So that's pre-playoffs? Okay.
Pre-playoffs. Playoffs is Commanders, Saints, Giants.
Playoff schedule's fine. The next 2 weeks are not.
Giants and Saints are no joke. Defensively.
Yeah, they're not joke, but they're not like the Eagles or the Browns, right? Like those are ones you do not want to see those matchups if you're fucking anybody, receiver, running back at all.
And then Swift, oh baby, Swift for the playoffs.
Lovely, right? I'm pretty sure it's pretty great. I have them in a bunch of leagues.
Giants, who I just said are no pushover, but Seahawks, and then the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals. Well,
the fantasy championship.
Guess who Kyren just tore up, buddy?
The fucking Cardinals. So yeah, the answer is Swift, not Kyren.
I mean, I think the answer is definitely Swift ahead of Kyren. If you wanted to do it, I can understand it. I'm probably just of the mindset here that if you're sending a first for a running back, you have a team that's really good and you think you can win it with one player like this. I think that's the reality for this. I probably wouldn't do it for Kyren. I don't have many teams that are even in the situation that I need this. But if you're going to do it, if you want to add an exception, like you're throwing away money here. Like you're overpaying, but I think the reality is you're trying to go win a title. So there's only a handful of people to even try.
Here's a pro tip. Outside of tight end, if I have a late first and I'm looking to upgrade my roster before the fantasy playoffs, running back is the next worst position. Like I just don't give a fuck because they're a flat tier. Like RB22s aren't that far off and warped from guys who have been top 5 the last 4 weeks. So piss out of here. I'm looking to get your boy. You're wearing his jersey, Mike Evans.
There you go.
Get the Keenan Allens of the world. I'm looking to see if I can upgrade to CeeDee Lamb. I'm looking to see if I can upgrade my quarterback position. Maybe I can sneak a Dak in. I can get from a Goff to a Dak and use that first. Fuck. Sign me up for that kind of stuff.
I mean, that
no
I agree.
Ends, no real running backs. I'm looking at wide receiver and quarterbacks.
I think this question though, I know how T-Rock builds. T-Rock is a guy that you go through and look at his lineup, please, Mike. It's built where he's the reason he asked this question. He's been asking this question since fucking week 4. He's got 2 good quarterbacks. His wide receiver room's deep.
That's fair.
And that's where it's like, okay, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. If your roster construction needs type of tweaking at those positions, please up tier. Go do what you need to do. Get Mike Evans in the flex. Get one of these hammers in there. I'm with you 100% there. If you can't do that and you really need a running back, I'll just say this. Before you trade a first for a running back, you better make sure that the rest of your roster construction is so damn good that you can afford the overpay, that you're willing to just make the overpay at that position. Because I'm with you. If you have the ability to say, I got a really good. Let's say you got a Christian Kirk type, or I'm not saying a guy that's bad, but could you end up buying outright a Keenan Allen, a Mike Evans? Do that instead. I'm with you.
Can you upgrade somebody? Right? There's got to be somebody. There ain't no way. Just saying. Go look at the warp tool for this league too, and look at some of these running backs over the last 4 weeks, and just tell yourself do I really want to pay a first for this when I could upgrade one of these other positions? And look at the warp for the wide receivers or the quarterbacks.
Yeah, the one thing that is crazy though, if you were to get the right running backs in the right weeks, those have been league winners. It's just typically those ones didn't necessarily even cost a first. And can you peg which the ones they are? It's easy to peg after the fact. Are you sure you got the right one? Anyone remember Hendon Hooker? Is that guy the Lions? Mike, what do we know about Hendon Hooker? I feel like I need Canton on this one.
I haven't heard shit on him.
I'll tell you what I've heard is that it's over. If anything, they probably, if they want to move on from Goff, if he doesn't get it done on this great team, they're going back to the draft. Well, I don't think they're doing any of this.
Yeah, I don't think it would be either. Ooh. So, apparently, he just had his practice window open today.
Office Depot, all over the place here.
Wouldn't you know that?
Did he practice?
He did.
Okay.
Detroit Lions rookie Hendon Hooker reacts to his first NFL practice.
What did he say?
I don't know. I didn't really give a shit.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm just
Sorry.
I'm intrigued. I'm into the story now. Come on.
I just read the headline. Let's see if
Okay.
we can quote it here.
Here you go, Mike. Pittman
It
and
was a blast. It was a blast, Hooker said after practice. Just to get back out there with the guys to compete. That's what it's about. Competing and winning ball games.
Listen, hookers are always a blast, you know. So, Pittman and projected
Play Broadway Girl.
Pittman and projected 104 or Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mike.
Ooh, shit. If I'm competing, I'm just throwing this all in for Amon-Ra. Fuck that 104.
I'm with you.
If I'm not competing, I'm going to take two pieces. Michael Pittman's worked himself into a big-time contract, either with the Colts or with another team. And the 104 could be QB3 of this class. If not, it could be Brock Bowers, and you could trade Brock Bowers for a haul to some dumbass who still thinks tight ends matter.
I'm thinking best ball, I'll take the 2. And in lineup, I'll take the 1.
Start 9 lineup, this is probably Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
Get the hammer.
Yeah, I should caveat, like, lineup start 12 or whatever, I might consider even splitting here. Best ball, I'm definitely taking the package, though, Mike. This is one of those where I don't think Pittman's going to give you what Amon-Ra does, but I think he's going to be close enough. Or that 104, man, what can that do? Best ball, I'll take the package. Amon-Ra in the shallow lineup league, I'm with you there. Amon-Ra, man, because here's the question. I just want Scribbles and everyone to listen to this. If that player is A.J. Brown or C.D. Lamb, everybody's going to have a different way of looking at it, I think. I feel like we always fucking disrespect this man.
We do.
Why do we do this? Why?
I don't know.
If that's C.D. Lamb, people ain't doing it. I just know how this game works, man.
Still to this day.
Fizzle, you can listen. You don't have to cover your ears, man.
That draft capital lingers just a little bit, don't it? Just a little bit.
The projected 104, too, like that's just maybe it's because we've done so much damn 24 loving talk. Like, I don't know. That just gets my gears going. God.
24, 104. I'm excited.
All right.
This is going to be a great pick.
Add a contender first to Pitts to get Hawk in a 2 tight end league.
No.
The thing is, though, Mike, in these type leagues with Warp, Hawk's really, really high.
Yep. He was really, really high with Josh Dobbs. Hyper-targeted him.
Yeah.
And what would we just see? Turnover machine. Josh Dobbs.
Oh, yeah.
He went from the pastronaut to just the astronaut. With
Hey,
2 S's.
For sure. I mean, and do you think I as much hate as I'll give Dobbs, like that was, I do think that's going to be his worst game in a Vikings uniform this year, right? That was rough as hell.
What if he doesn't start again?
I mean, what if he doesn't start again?
And it's Nick Mullins.
All right.
And Justin Jefferson's coming back.
Okay.
I don't want to buy into Hawkinson.
I mean, this is a heavy price as it is, but yeah. I don't think Hawk. I think with the worst quarterback, not that it's better for T.J. Hawkinson, but I think Hawk's still going to get a fair amount of these targets just because he's such a safety net. I think he's great he's great in this format. I think AB, what I would say is, I probably wouldn't do this though. Like this is one of those where I look at Warp and I could think about it. I'm with Mike though on the fact that I'd rather see if I can send this first and do something else with my lineup as opposed to doing this specific trade. I would say if you had everything buttoned up to a T, like your roster's just goon squatted, you're starting 4 wide receivers that are all monsters in Warp. You got 2 great quarterbacks. Like this is one of those moves that if you make it, this is kind of a overpay to fix the rest of your lineup, and you're doing it. Other than that, like if you don't have that type of a roster build-up, I'd rather just explore going to use that first elsewhere, is I guess the way I'd phrase this one.
Not that I think Kyle Pitts is anything special, but here's the thing about buying T.J. Hawkinson. It's at a position, generally, where they don't really matter. Much of the other positions are lapping him. You have 2 really good assets. You're sending for 1. It's not like a super elite asset at the Warp difference maker spot. He has been.
This is where Koopa's... Well, now Koopa's also been a Hawk lover too, no?
Yes. Yeah. So we just ignore him.
Well,
I will say this.
Go ahead.
I don't want to I would buy into Hawkinson if there was some ambiguity already baked into his price. At a Pitts and a first, the ambiguity is not baked in. You assume all the ambiguity of that scenario. Like, what if it's Nick Mullins? What does it look like when Jefferson's back? Like Kirk Cousins could support two of them. Can one of these shitty quarterbacks support two guys? And Addison. Like, can this really go on? We don't know. And I don't want to be spending this price, like, in giving up these assets right before the fantasy playoffs in one that doesn't really matter too much anyways. Like, it's not that great, even in this format. Like, people bake it in because they go 2 tight ends and 0.75 premium. Holy shit, they must really matter. Kinda. Like, sometimes they matter. Sometimes they don't do shit. Right?
Yeah,
sometimes you get by with the Jonnu Smith.
Well, Mike, I think that's where the warp tool is so big. Like, because I'm pulling up a couple of my leagues that are 2 tight end. Like, we even go to South Harmon Dynasty Degenerates, which is 2 tight end. I'm pretty sure it's exactly 1.75 with 2 tight ends. Now, what's crazy about this is it's such a deep starters.
Yeah.
And this one here, Mike, even still, T.J. Hawkinson's like 3rd overall player. So now, to your point, the rest of the season is very uncertain. What's going to happen with him? What Jefferson coming back? But man, it's probably an overpay. But if you needed to add in that position, it's an overpay. If the rest of your team's built right, like this is chasing the warp at the position you don't have it at. I could see it. I would just if I'm making this trade, AB. This is my personal opinion. Make sure the rest of your roster is buttoned up, and make sure you can't send that first elsewhere. That's going to be better off for your team before I make this trade. That's the way I'd approach it.
Explore some of the other options before you settle on tight end.
Exactly right. That's where I think Mike and I are going to line up, and I think even Koopa would agree with that.
Just look somewhere else. Just start.
I think I'm a little late to the party. This is my bad trip crown. There's a whole bunch of shit here. This is nice. T-Rock. I have made a lot of mistakes at Koopa Troopa, and the wife is definitely not one of them. She is the one that made the mistake with me. T-Rock, here's what I'll say is I know you've made a lot of mistakes, buddy, and we still let you write an article every week, so it's okay.
Just like that sombrero he's wearing in that picture.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I kind of love that fucking picture. The sad face. Fucking. I don't know. It's just how I envision T-Rock.
That's true.
CD GOAT. Yeah. Is this? I have a question. Is Fizzle a bot?
He might be.
Like, you know how the bots always say the same thing?
They do. Fizzle's a sex bot.
Like, I feel like you get those, the spam text. It's like always the same thing. Like, is this just queued up? It's like a bot? Is that what this is?
Yeah. Maybe Fizzle owes CD money, so like he's obligated.
I love that.
Could that be something?
I actually, what I will say too is I think I think Fizzle's angling to get the CD thing going at the Expo one of these years too. Like, get the future lined
cool
up.
as shit, though.
That would be amazing.
Awesome.
Everything I said, I'd take it back at that point. Fizzle. Give a 25-second for Taysom Hill and Ertz. No, man.
What? No.
Johnny, Detroit. I'm gonna put you on a little game called A Warp Tight End Life.
Yeah.
I want the second over the turds. Who are you starting right now, Johnny Detroit, and who's available on waiver wire? Let's just get straight to what matters here. Who's on the wire? Who's on your roster? Did Fizzle get the Johnny Detroit though? I'll tell you what he did do. Look at Fizzle put CD Goat twice in there, just fucking around. Good shit. I say it like Fizzle did it. I think it could be a bot. Did Fizzle get the Kelly Green Philly jersey yet? Johnny Detroit. This is a better question than the 25 seconds. This is the question you need to be asking.
It's a great question. Right there.
I don't know. I think, frankly, we need to do a little digging on this,
I think so. Need some proof. Adam.
Because AJ, did he get the one that's AJ Brown? It's 11, but the back says him.
You should make him get it that one out too.
Can you imagine? You made Fizzle wear that. That'd be so fucking awesome.
Ooh, last 4 weeks, Taysom Hill is tight end 11, just generically in warp.
Okay. What about Ertz?
Injured.
Nowhere to be found, right? That was sorry, that was facetious. I apologize.
Like Hunter Henry's at a .080 warp, and Taysom Hill's at a .166.
2 weeks, Playboy. You get your chance to see that trash. This is awesome.
He's got to wear it for the whole Philly-Dallas game. Is that what we're doing now?
Why not? Yeah. At least Koopa admits to the bias part of he's extremely pro Hawk and anti Pitt, so I get that. I mean, I understand it. I just think that man, it's one. If you're gonna do it, it's like the Godfather. Go ahead and make this team ready. Do it button. Oh, what's up, Caleb? He says hit the like button for these guys. Johnny, I'm asking if you want us to. I'll bring this back. If you want us to go over it with you, what's on the wire and what do you have on your team? Because I just don't want to do that at all, frankly.
Like you're buying into Ertz too when Trey McBride's been like extremely hot with Kyler.
I mean, I could see this thing where it's like the Dallas Goedert story and like it just kind of becomes gross for McBride for a little bit, but I'm 25 second, man. I'm good, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Fucking pass for me too. It's a new regime.
Now I know we're getting close to the end. This is exactly what we needed. Billy, thank you so much for the question. 12 team, start 9, 1 quarterback, full PPR, currently in second place with the most points for. Traded Bijan and a late first for AJB. Cartavius, Mike. We talked about this. His nickname's been revoked. It ain't Bigsby. It ain't Tank. It's Cartavius. And a 25 fourth. Okay, he's got CMC, Swift, Monty, Tyreek, Ridley, Terry, Deontay, and now he's got AJ Brown. I've gone back and forth. Thoughts?
Bijan for AJ Brown.
Yep. You had to throw away the first to go to AJ Brown, right? That's basically what this is. Yep. Late first.
Because the other two pieces don't mean shit.
No.
And it's a late first in a 1 QE league.
The one thing is, like, the wide receivers in this class, like, it'll probably be still a decent receiver, but it's a lineup start 9, and you're talking about the two of the hammer. Like, Mike, take quarterbacks out. Just think about, like, we're talking rankings. You're talking about 2 of the fucking hammers all the way at the top. If you have to discard that guy to go get the preference that you want, I'm okay with it.
I think I'm fine with this.
Because you still have your running back room's still pretty damn good with CMC and Swift.
And he needed some wide receiver help. Tyreek's awesome. Ridley's been playing well, but your third wide receiver and Terry,
Deontay needs a bump up.
Booty cheeks.
I like the trade. I like it, frankly. I think Billy, you paid the iron price. You paid. I know Fizzle's gonna hate this. I'll just put it like that.
You went and got Timothy Brown, so I can get behind it. Fizzle's going to like it, too, because he's buying his jersey. So.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Johnny says, Ogletree, Komet. You got Komet and Troutman?
Why the fuck you want to buy them other shitters?
I think I'm playing Komet over them other 2 dudes anyway. Or at least in the conversation. Like, Taysom Hill maybe, but I'm just going to roll. Here's what we do. Johnny, listen. This is the A-Warp life. Exactly why I asked the question. You're just rolling Komet out there every week, period. And if you could sell him even for something, you do that. You're going to pick one guy, you're going to roll him out every week, and you're going to try to sell everyone else for value, and just that's how you run it. Waivers only run on the first Wednesday of the month. Oh, shit. Well, that's coming up anyway.
Oh, is this like one of those weird best ball leagues where
best ball,
know how to actually set them up right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I get you. Yeah, then fuck that though. Like I'm not.
I'm good anyway. In best ball, this is a perfectly fine room. Like I don't need to add for a 25 cent. I don't know. I guess for the 2 for 1, it makes it a little better in best ball. But I'm just good. I'm good with this room as it is right now.
Yeah, it's still pass.
I think what I would do though, Johnny Detroit, is that's a week from today, right? That's next week. Next week I'm going to definitely comb over like tight ends with a pulse and just maybe add 1 or 2 more to this team. That's what I'd rather do than do a 25 second period.
Bingo.
Love you guys. Always elite, Billy. Appreciate you,
Thanks,
man. Billy. Believe it or not, people hate us, but we appreciate you.
Hate us because they ain't us.
start one, you'll be just fine. Yeah. They hate us because they ain't us. I think the thought process was best ball is low effort, so people only need to do once a month waivers. It's been brutal. I will say, Komet's on bye this week. Johnny, do you need to get in the playoffs? And if so, like, I don't know. You add those two guys, I don't think they guarantee you get in the playoffs if you needed that to get in the playoffs.
Here's the other thing. If you need those two guys to get in the playoffs, your team sucked anyways, and you don't deserve.
Are you winning in the playoffs? There you go.
Right. The rest of your roster sucks as constructed.
It's kind of like
for best ball. So yeah, that's just the way things go.
Yeah.
Welcome to best ball. Glad you're here today.
Yeah, it's kind of like I put it like this, Mike. It's kind of like, there's a division out there. Every year it's different, probably.
Yeah.
This year, the NFC South, right? Like, okay, you won the NFC South. Cool. Now what? About to get that ass bounced. Cheeks, like.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. Have fun in the playoffs.
But if you're already in there, you're already competing. Like, you're just looking for backfield depth. Don't waste a draft pick on those two guys. Go see if you can acquire somebody who actually means something, though. Like,
that's what I'd rather do. See if you have another second laying around, package it up, like.
Even not that. Like, I mean, there's threshold wide receivers for best ball that are, like top 50 options for warp that shit you can get for a second.
Mike, you can probably get Noah Brown for a second anywhere you want.
Bingo.
I mean, all right, hold on. The answer is probably doesn't matter, but do we think Keontae Ingram signed somewhere, or is he an easy cut after his release?
Hey, thanks for answering the question for us, Bargustus.
I think actually Bargustus, I like Bargustus quite a bit. I love his little banter in here. And Bargustus, I will say, you are close as hell because you put it in quotes. You just put one extra word. If you just move that quote from probably to the doesn't, perfect. We're there. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, pass.
But we appreciate you being here today, buddy.
I don't care about Keontae Ingram.
But yeah, I mean, actually, Koopa's also great. It doesn't matter because he is a fucking cut. Like,
yeah.
I actually think, Mike, if I have Keontae Ingram on any teams left, it's the ones where I'm intentionally trying to hold a spot that is not very good. If you go look at some of my bad teams, you'll be like, what is this dude's roster? Like, listen, man, there's times I'm holding on to these people that have zero pulse intentionally.
You got Le'Veon Bell still? Like, you're just holding on, just like, you never know, bro.
Listen, man, I've seen it. People get crazy. Lev Bell comes back. Someone will trade me that pick. Nah, but yeah, let's just put it like this. In best ball, you can get away with some of the just rostering a dead body,
literally. But I also, too,
yeah,
I really like this, like on these rebuilding best ball teams. I don't know. I got this from Scott, I think. I just go in and, like, I pick every damn, like, backup quarterback humanly possible.
It's a great
throw them on the right.
That's a Scott Connor approach. That's a great call. That's a great seed in best ball.
And just see if somebody will give me a fourth for him or a third when, like,
the beauty is
the guy in front of them
they're a zero. And the minute they don't become a zero, they're on the block and they're gone.
I cut them if I can't trade them.
Well,
like,
right.
Fuck you.
You get a couple free thirds and fourths, Josh Dobbs.
Listen, I spent a shit ton of fab on
Appreciate
Brown
it, Chef.
last week just to block other people from having quarterbacks and then, like, cut him literally Sunday morning. Here we go. Fuck you.
I do like, though, Mike, you know what I do like even on the rebuilders, too, is, like, when I have the hammer at fab, like, it's about now. I've been kind of holding it, like, what the hell? But I might just start messing with the league. Like, all of a sudden, like a Jake Browning becomes available. Bam, $100. Like, all right, who's coming? Let's go.
I gotta
free money
before I let you do too much. Like on my Contenders where you rebuild it, I'm gonna see if I just send you something for your fab, right?
Yeah, there you go. Well, there you go. Please do. You guys can come buy my fab for picks right away, and then you can decide how to use it. But I will say, if I have fab on these rebuilders,
you're fucked.
Well, you're not getting the priority quarterbacks or priority players. They're just we don't have trade deadlines in our league, Mike. You got to come pay the daddy tax,
Or I'll hold them till game day. No, I'll cut his.
Exactly. Bink. Right back to the waivers. And guess what? Next week when you go to pick him up,
I do it again.
He's back.
I do it again.
It's a fun game we play. And, there was a question on here that I think is a perfect segue to end here. I really, really do. I got to find it, though. Steve Carell, 4D or sketchy? Pick him up. No one to trade for him. Back to the wire. People are pissed off. Pick him back up. 4D and sketchy.
I'm going to keep fucking with people that way. Come trade for my fab or I'm going to abuse the shit out of you.
You know what's amazing to me is like people don't. I still haven't seen for how much we've emphasized fab before. I haven't seen enough fab trades. I really haven't. No, I'm not saying that people don't do it. Like it is not a commonality though. Most people still do not trade for it.
That is the only one I can honestly say. Like T-Rock when he's made some deals on his contenders, like and I'm rebuilding, he always sneaks that fab in there, and I respect it. The one thing I fucking hate though, like when I'm trading with the rebuilder and I try to put a little fab in there, like they want to counter back and forth, like change it. Just fucking give it up, man. Give up to booty cheeks. Let's go.
They're like, no, man. I'm clenching. No. Here's $13. I don't want your 50. All right.
Yeah, they gotta keep like $5 for themselves. Like, what are you gonna do with that?
What are you keeping? Some mall money? You still going to the mall? What the hell's going on here, man?
Look what I just found. Call them phone coupons.
Right, y'all. Hey,
wife.
Jiminy Christmas. We love y'all. We'll see you back here, same time, same place next week for the South Harmon AMA. And guess what? Next week we're getting ready to go into playoffs, Mike. Let's get to it. See y'all next week. Right of the thing. Peace.